Thank you all for that warm welcome. Thank you for just being here today. You know, I want to thank everyone also that's joining us online. Your dedication to Greenwood and its future continues to be the driving force behind our city's resurgence. Now, first I'd like to make a couple introductions, if I might, because I'm fortunate to have my family here. My mother's here, Carol Myers, who many of you know, and two of my sisters, Patty and Nancy, are here with us. But also, I'm happy to share that today's event, oh, my son Matthew is sitting right in the middle, buddy. I'm happy to share that today's event is being viewed in at least 4 countries around the globe. Today, watching with us is my daughter Grace, who serves with the Peace Corps in Moldova. My daughter and son, Jonathan and Hope. Jonathan's in the Air Force. He's in Aviano, Italy, serving with them. And my oldest son, Mark. Mark is with the United States Marine Corps Special Operations Task Force on the 38th Nation with the 1st Marine Raiders. Let's give them a round of applause. Practice that and didn't think it'd happen. I also want to thank Christian Mislowski and Dr. Kent DeKonik, Vala Vista and the entire Greater Greenwood Chamber Board and staff for hosting us today. And thinking of their staff, I think I probably ought to thank my wife for putting this entire event together just for me, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. You know, the city and the Chamber's partnership continues to produce tremendous results and promotes an environment where local businesses feel welcome and supported. And I'd like to recognize my department heads as well, and also all the city employees. If you're a department head or a city employee, would you please stand and be recognized? You know, I am so fortunate to be surrounded by such a talented group of young men and women that are committed to be public servants for this city. So thank you for all you do. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Being born and raised in Greenwood and having lived here nearly my entire life, I can't remember a more exciting time for our city. Like many of you, my family's called Greenwood home for generations. My grandfather was a small business owner, and he ran a Westinghouse appliance dealership out of a storefront adjacent to his downtown home. He also operated the projector for the silent movies at the Polk Place Community Center while my 2 aunts took turns playing piano beside him. Kind of cool, isn't it? My mother and my father were also local entrepreneurs as they owned Myers Ambulance Service. And again, I want to thank Mom and my sisters for being here today. It was a family affair. And like me, my father was the mayor of Greenwood in the late 1970s. Many of you share the same stories and connections. Our forefathers understood Greenwood is a special place. And as I stand here before you to deliver my 8th report on the state of our city, I believe that those that came before us would take great pride in what was built on our legacy and to celebrate the progress we continue to make toward future prosperity. Pride and progress. The standard on which Greenwood was built has never been more relevant. Together, we're guiding a revitalization that will impact Greenwood for generations to come. So let's begin, as we do every year, with the city's finances and Greenwood's bottom line. After several years of conservative fiscal diligence, I'm proud to report that Greenwood now owns one of Indiana's strongest balance sheets. Once again, in 2018, we presented the Common Council with a balanced budget, our 7th consecutive year. Our fiscal house is in order, and we've been able to improve city services while also maintaining one of Indiana's lowest tax rate, currently the 4th lowest in the state. And it's no coincidence that for the 5th year in a row, our finance department is receiving a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. Our city is one of only a handful of Hoosier municipalities to receive such a recognition. And if you want to dig into the numbers, I encourage you to visit the city's website where we post detailed finance data as accessible and digestible as possible. Credit for Greenwood's financial success extends to every department in the city. Every single person in this administration shares a core belief that fiscal responsibility is not accidental. It must be woven into every decision, every initiative, every single project that seeks to improve the city and the quality of life. For us, every dollar counts. Our staff embraces this mindset, and their results prove it. With a strong balance sheet, we can properly prepare for, execute, and most importantly, pay for such projects in a responsible way. So I'm pleased to report that 2018 was another productive year. We began the year by announcing Greenwood as a business-focused trailblazer, revealing our city as the first municipal partner for InBiz, Indiana's groundbreaking online portal that serves as a one-stop resource for individuals starting, managing, and growing their businesses. Working side by side with Indiana Secretary of State Connie Lawson and her team, our efforts will transform doing business in Greenwood. Greenwood business owners will soon be able to manage the majority of their local government interaction online. They will be the first businesses to do so in Indiana, and I think that's pretty fantastic. As many of you know, my administration came into office in a large part because of our commitment to preserve and to revitalize Old Town Greenwood. Doing so requires dynamic civic assets, attracting gathering spaces, and diverse opportunities for public recreation. Old Town must be walkable, connected, accessible, and pedestrian-friendly. In 2018, we completed several projects designed to achieve these goals. We finished the first phase of the redevelopment of Madison Avenue, which includes a multi-use 12-foot wide trail for both pedestrians and bicyclists, brick crosswalks, a pedestrian signal at Euclid Avenue, and a revitalized public parking lot at Broadway and Madison Avenue. Last year, staff worked with our redevelopment commission to finalize the second round of funding for our GROW initiative. The GROW program helps local businesses expand while providing benefits to the community as a whole, including improving our downtown. Bordering the northern edge of the former Greenwood Middle School, the new Serena Way extension sets the stage for both development of both the 19-acre property for the old school and the reimagined Old City Park. The project included a public-private partnership with Our Lady of the Greenwood Catholic Church, which created more than 150 additional downtown parking spaces. The Greenwood Public Library was an important partner with that, so thank you very much, Cheryl. We made considerable improvements to Greenwood's amphitheater and the park space surrounding the outdoor venue, which played host to another record-setting year for city's summer concert series and movies in the park. And if you haven't been to the movies in the park, you're missing out. You know, drivers are still becoming more comfortable with the new roundabout at Smith Valley Road and Madison Avenue. That wasn't supposed to be funny. But, yeah, me too. The change has already reduced traffic delays in and increased safety in and around that heavily trafficked intersection. It really does work. If not, the designers are here. We completed phase one of the improvements on Emerson Avenue, one of the city's most heavily traveled north-south corridors. These improvements have already attracted interest and will act as a catalyst for additional private investment. City-hosted events remain extremely popular. The continued success of the Freedom Festival, Just Plain Fun at the Indy South Greenwood Airport, and last year's inaugural Kris Kringle Market prove that once again, if we do things right, people will attend. And speaking of the airport, Indy South Greenwood, they worked not just to attract event attendees in 2018. This past November, we announced an agreement with the Indiana State Police to host their aviation section fleet. The lease is being currently finalized. You know how attorneys take time, Eric. It's being finalized. It includes a new hangar with office space for the State Police aviation personnel. This is a tremendous source of pride for our city to serve as a home base for such a critical component of Indiana law enforcement. Taken as a whole, Greenwood's reputation, growth, and momentum have reached record levels. And yes, we should celebrate the city's recent successes, but we must also continue pushing forward on all fronts. And as many of you know, I believe there are 4 pillars that serve as a foundation for any city government: public safety, infrastructure, quality of life, and economic development. If invested in properly, these pillars work together to build a thriving community. So let's begin with public safety. Before becoming the mayor, my professional experience focused primarily on law enforcement and public safety. And I'm proud to say that I still continue serving as a reserve deputy for the Johnson County Sheriff's Office. And my boss is sitting right here to make sure I'm being a good boy. I believe that first and foremost, a city must be safe. Safe for our residents, safe for our ever-growing number of visitors, and safe for the businesses driving our economic situation. Greenwood's blessed to have the men and the women of both the police and the fire departments who share this conviction and are committed to doing whatever it takes to protect and to serve our community. Their dedication serves as an example to us all. So to the heroes that keep Greenwood safe every day, thank you for everything you do and for the sacrifices that you make. In 2018, Greenwood moved forward on several initiatives designed to maintain and improve public safety. First, I'm proud to announce that the Greenwood Fire Department will soon receive a Class II public protection rating from the Insurance Services Office. ISO is a third-party independent agency that evaluates the fire department, the water department, and the public safety communications department. The results rate on a national scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the best. For communities with a Class II rating, many insurance providers provide a discount on annual insurance premiums for both residences and businesses. Last summer, we opened the new Justice Center, a complete remodel of the police department at Serena Square. The Justice Center continues to house the police headquarters and now serves as a permanent home for the Greenwood City Court, the City Clerk's Office, and the Greenwood Probation Department. The project provides significant efficiencies for the organizations and for citizens navigating the process. Last year, the Greenwood Police Department began using automated tracking systems on all the vehicles. The advanced system allows police dispatch to know the exact location of all units at all times, contributing to officer safety and department efficiency when deploying officers to service calls. GPD is also preparing to launch a crime mapping software, arming officers with valuable insight into previously unknown data. The software provides options for analyzing criminal activity patterns and geographic footprints. In 2018, we announced the relocation of Greenwood Fire Station 93, and today I'm pleased to unveil the station's design publicly. Fire Station 93 will be located in Freedom Park on land purchased last year. The addition will shorten response times and improve department operations. Our next pillar is infrastructure. For far too long, Greenwood allowed the infrastructure to remain stagnant and deteriorate, but not anymore, folks. In Greenwood, we pave and we plow our roads. We give our civil servants the tools and the technology they need to get the job done. When stormwater issues threaten our quality of life, like today, we establish our own utility to fix the problem ourselves. Last year, several departments sought to improve efficiency and create future savings through important technology investments, with more planned in 2019. In 2018, our street department launched Greenwood's first interactive trash map. The finance department implemented Kronos to digitize employee timekeeping, and it'll soon transition to a new payroll and accounting software. The stormwater department staff are now using CityWorks, a software to maximize resources and minimize per project expenses. Efforts to reduce administrative costs are working. Perhaps the best indicator of our success is the elimination of all service fees for any customer payments that use city-owned utilities. And while technology is certainly our future, we must not forget Greenwood's current infrastructure needs. With regards to transportation, that need is roads. So in 2018, we completed the construction of Stop 18 Road west of US 31. We rebuilt Horton Street, Commission Road, and Stonegate Road, and we completed full-depth reclamations on portions of Honey Creek Road and Emerson Avenue. We're making progress on the Worsville Road as well, the latest section of which includes multi-use paths connecting to our trail system, providing accesses to Central 9 Career Center campus, and the land designated for the new Grassy Creek Park. Later this year, we expect to complete our efforts to modernize and increase safety at school zone crossings. Announced in 2018 and long overdue, I consider this to be one of Greenwood's most important future projects. The safety and the well-being of our children should never be overlooked. And with this project, we're dedicating appropriate resources to keep our kids safe. Our administration is constantly studying best practices for traffic safety across the country and around the world. Last year, I learned of an initiative called Vision Zero. It's a strategy to eliminate every traffic fatality and severe injury while increasing safe, healthy, and equitable mobility. We have a video on this initiative looping out in the lobby, and I welcome everyone to check it out on your way out. Our city's waste management department continues to stand out for its innovation and exceptional service to both citizens and local businesses. In 2018, we completed the full modernization of trash services, transitioning to fully standardized containers required for automatic pickup. The improvements follow our modernization of Greenwood's recycling program, which led to several thousand more participating households and a 50% increase in recycling tonnage in 2018. Our extremely popular Leaf and Limb program remains the envy of other communities, and our waste management staff has plans to increase capacity and efficiency. Many of you have likely heard about Greenwood's plans for the new Department of Public Works building. Serving as an addition to the current DPW building on South Washington Street, the new 50,000 square foot facility will allow many of our infrastructure-focused departments to be even more efficient, while also extending the life cycles for many of city equipment and vehicles. And today I'm pleased to offer the first look at the design plans for the new building. Construction begins this spring and we expect it completed by the end of year. My favorite part of this project, though, is Greenwood is paying for the construction of the Department of Public Works building with cash on hand and will not have to issue a single dollar of debt. This is what our city can do. This is what our city can achieve with a strong financial position. Let's move on to the city's most important natural resource, which we are seeing a lot of this week: water. Created just 6 years ago, Greenwood's Stormwater Department is already one of the premier MS4 programs in the state. The department's testing lab and nature center, opened in 2017, has quickly become an important resource for water and environmental education. The amount accomplished by the stormwater staff at the facility and the recognition it's received in such a short period of time is truly remarkable. And then turning to Greenwood's Sanitation Department. Now, typically, I'm not the kind of guy that gets really excited about sanitary sewers, for many reasons. But I'm confident that she'll join me, or at least not judge me as harshly, after announcing Greenwood has officially begun the installation of the Western Regional Interceptor. This is the largest public works job in the city's history. The interceptor is desperately needed to alleviate the current sewer system, which is already burdened and cannot accommodate the city's future growth and development. It'll provide much needed relief for the Pleasant Run Interceptor, channeling as much as 9 million gallons of wastewater daily. So earlier I spoke about fiscal responsibility being woven into every project our administration approaches, and financing on this project illustrates just that point. Our team identified and utilized the state's revolving fund to finance the $24.7 million first phase. The decision resulted in a sizable interest benefits and will save sanitation customers more than $13 million. That should get everybody excited about sanitary sewers. The Sanitation Department also has completed the third phase of repairing manholes and relining or replacing sewer pipes in the Old Town area. We're at about 85% of the way done, and we plan to finish that portion this year. Now, our third pillar is quality of life, and it continues to be a true driver of Greenwood's resurgence. The quality of life we offer our citizens is a reflection of what kind of a city we want to be. Since day one, we've made it clear that that is a top priority. We believe that families bonding over Lego tables at Kid City. We believe in offering active seniors a diverse and expanding trail system. And we believe in concerts in the park on Saturdays in the summer with you and a couple thousand of your closest friends. Our parks and our recreation department is truly remarkable. We've accomplished so much during the last 7 years. Freedom Springs continues to exceed expectations and welcome more than 108,000 visitors last year, our third consecutive record of attendance. And just as impressive, membership increased more than 65%, surpassing 2,200 people in 2018. The combined result led to another record year of revenue at the pool. And I'm pleased to announce today that for the first time, Freedom Springs eclipsed $1 million in annual revenue. Freedom Springs' success allows the Parks Department to continue reinvesting in the facility and plan for future additions like it did last year with the new drop slide. And while the old city pool lost more than $80,000 annually, Freedom Springs has operated in the black since day one. And in 3 years, the facility has generated more than $750,000. That's $750,000 that goes right back into our park system. The reimagined Greenwood Community Center followed suit with a record year this year, hosting more than 122,000 people. That's up more than 20,000 people from 2017. Our ongoing quest to add more green space. Last year, the Parks Department acquired more than 30 acres at Worsville Road and I-65. And I mentioned Freedom Park's growth earlier, which adds another 40 acres of green space. The Parks Department recently introduced Adopt a Spot to engage the local business community with efforts to help beautify Greenwood. And as luck would have it, I'm speaking to a room filled full of members of our local business community right now. So I'm asking you, all of you, to visit the city's website and consider adopting and beautifying your own piece of Greenwood. More than just a civic benefit, the program serves as a marketing tool for demonstrating to our customers that your business's ongoing commitment to our city. As usual, we have no plans to tap the brakes on quality of life for improvements of 2019. This year we begin construction of the downtown field house, the repurpose of the former gymnasium at the Greenwood Middle School. That will serve as a public anchor for the 19-acre property's redevelopment. And interior plans for the facility are still being determined, and we look forward to announcing those details very soon. In 2018, we began planning for a new event lawn in Craig Park, and that plan to complete the project this summer. We plan to add new trails as well, including on the north side of Freedom Park, extending to Averitt Road to Freedom Springs, and a multi-use trail connecting Northwest Park to Northwest Park Annex. And finally, I'm pleased to announce that later this year, the Parks Department will open its first rental hall. Purchased in 2018, the former Hampton House on Fry Road will be converted and will offer that space for a variety of events. It's not for me. Now, our fourth pillar is economic development. Before we dive in, I think it's important to highlight the fundamental connection between economic development and quality of life. Economic development is highly competitive, as we saw with the Amazon HQ2 process. An available and skilled workforce is often the decision driver for businesses planning to expand or relocate. Cities courted past generations by incentivizing companies to set up shop in their community and offer as many jobs as possible, and people mostly followed opportunity. You find a job, off you go to find a new home. Well, in today's dynamic, it's reversed, as people are now deciding where they want to move before securing a job. They're evaluating quality of life and what experiences a city offers. Find a new home, and then off you go to find your new job. To compete in this economic development area, Greenwood must offer current and future generations an attractive and opportunity-filled community. We must demonstrate that we understand the changing needs between the young professional looking for his first apartment, a new family searching for a safe place to raise their children, and a retired couple wanting to downsize and spend their weekends walking around Old Town before meeting up with friends at Vino Villa. So I'm pleased to report that our strategy is generating meaningful returns. Last year, Greenwood welcomed one of the world's most valuable companies as its newest corporate citizen as Amazon announced the new $80 million operations hub. The investment is expected to bring with it more than 1,200 new jobs. And while Amazon announced their investment last year, another Fortune 500 company celebrated 2018 by opening its new Greenwood Fulfillment Center. Pitney Bowes has opened its 450,000 square foot facility, and it's with plans to hire up to 300 new employees. Other noteworthy projects include Franciscan Health's new state-of-the-art healthcare facility, a $20 million apartment complex planned by the Garrett Companies, Greenwood's latest hometown success story, which ranked 10th on the Inc. 5000 list of America's fastest growing companies. So quality of life and economic development are more interconnected than ever. And upcoming projects will continue Greenwood's momentum in both areas. That's not good. Stormwater Department. Design continues for the remaining phases of Madison Avenue's transformation, which will eventually extend north to Fry Road. And due to the overwhelmingly positive feedback for citizens, we're now studying options to accelerate that construction schedule. In 2019, we'll begin with the streetscape work at Madison Avenue and Main Street. And that project provides widened sidewalks, which residents have long sought to improve downtown's walkability and pedestrian safety. And if you haven't noticed, we began installing new wayfinding and street signs, and we're going to continue to do so throughout the year. The signs incorporate the city's new identity and have been strategically located to maximize placemaking. We also continue to work with our common councilors and appropriate city boards to overhaul Greenwood's zoning code. We have quite a bit of work left to do, but I believe there will be a consensus on the new standards very soon. And before we finish, I have one more surprise. 2 years ago, during the same address, I announced the city's agreement to purchase the former Greenwood Middle School, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to develop 19 acres in the heart of Old Town. Our administration offered a vision for the future and highlighted a list of projects that would lay the groundwork to get there. So I'm proud to say that we've already completed many of those projects that we discussed that day, and I'm pleased to unveil our most recent milestone. Old City Park, one of Greenwood's most historic public places, will soon undergo a dynamic transformation, and it's my pleasure to offer you a first look at the final design. The visual and the recreational centerpiece is a 20-foot cube tower, custom designed by an internationally renowned playground manufacturer. The play tower will be the first of its kind in Indiana and one of only 3 in the country. We're also building a custom climbing wall and a custom climbing net for younger children. The reimagined Old City Park will have pipe slides, spinners, ping pong tables, and extensive open space for non-structured developmental play. We'll even have a few urban porch swings for mom and dad to relax while the kids are having fun. It'll be an amazing experience for Greenwood's youngest citizens, but the new park will have something for people of all ages. An 18-foot wide promenade will run adjacent to Pleasant Creek, seamlessly integrating into the creek's natural landscape, adding a bocce ball courts, installing a fitness circuit, and building a new pedestrian bridge. Old City Park will once again become a central cornerstone for Old Town, with connectivity to the Greenwood Amphitheater and to Craig Park, the former middle school property, the Greenwood Public Library, Madison Avenue Trail, and even more. Like many of the projects I've discussed today, the reimagined park will impact Greenwood citizens for decades to come. It'll serve as an example for the future generation of what's possible for our great city. So when your grandchildren ask about this time, you can proudly say we were doing the work to cultivate their future. They will take pride in Greenwood's past, and they'll honor the previous generations, just as we've done by making continued progress toward an even brighter future. Pride and progress. Ladies and gentlemen, cheer 8. Let's get back to work. Thank you.